Hey, what's going on? We're going to be checking out something pretty cool today, and it's inside of hard drives. So if you have old hard drives that are bad or anything like that, I'm going to show you what's inside of them. And I'll also show you some tips that if your hard drive isn't working, you can fix it. Not, you can't always fix them. Hard drives are very temperamental, but so right now we're just taking out the screws. There's 6 of them here, and depending on what hard drive you have, depends on which one of these bits you should get. It's the 6-sided bit, so it'll be a T something or rather. But there's different sizes inside of here, so it's always good to get a set of like small ones, small bits. So we're just gonna take off the screws here. Alright, so now that we have the screws off, there's hidden screws on these. You always have to find them first. So on this one, the hidden screw is right here. As you can see, there's a little bit of an indent there. That's where the hidden screw is at. I'm just gonna go ahead and stick this in there and unscrew that. Now that we have that unscrewed, we're able to pop this top off here. And if you want to salvage this, you always want to be really careful in taking the top off. You can kind of just pry up the edges on it to get it open. Alright, sorry about that mishap there. Alright, and then we're just gonna pull it open from there. Alright, so that was not very cautious. However, I'm just scrapping these, so I'm not trying to be too careful. Alright, so as you can see here, there is a smudge right there from my finger when I opened it. That's bad. There's also like little particles of dirt and stuff inside, or dust inside of here. You don't want that to happen if you're trying to salvage your hard drive. What can happen if your hard drive is spinning, but it's not reading, this arm here can actually get stuck. So what I always recommend is that you, if you're trying to salvage it, be as careful as possible when opening this. Always use a clean area because you don't want stuff on this disc here. But this arm right here, you want that to freely flow, and it needs to be able to sit back here inside of this orange track here, which it's not doing. And it looks like there is some damage on the front of that little arm there. So that is busted, obviously. This one, it doesn't work. But yeah, that's if you want to save it. You know, you just have to open it up, and if the arm isn't working, then, you know, just move it a little bit and try to get it to work. Try to set it back into this track as carefully as possible without breaking this arm or without touching this disc at all. But what I'm really interested in and why I'm showing you this video is because I love these magnets that are right here. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of them right here. These are neodymium magnets, and they're really cool because they're really strong. And sometimes you get a hard drive where you have 2 of them, and sometimes you only have 1 of them. In this case, I think there's 2 in this one. You could always tell by the shape as well. So yeah, there is 2 of them in here. The magnet is actually that lifted part right there. And so you see that this other one has that as well. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to remove this arm to get the second magnet out. There's a bunch of plastic pieces in here and stuff too. Now this is always fun to, you could either scrap it or just hang on to it. I think these magnets are cool, so I like to hang on to them. So there's a screw under here that is also one of the T bits. I can't remember if it's this bigger one or if it's a smaller one. Let me, so usually it's right in the middle, but sometimes, like this one, it's to the side a little bit. Okay, it is the bigger bit, and we're just going to unscrew that a little bit. Now what's going to happen is it's going to spin this, so you can just put your finger in there. or even a flathead. If you have a flathead, I just put a finger in there to hold it. And when holding that, you just unscrew this the rest of the way. And now that that's lifted up and that screw is loose, you can go ahead and take that screw out. And then you'll be able to lift up this arm here, just like this. And you can move that out of the way. Or you can just unscrew these. I'm going to go ahead and unscrew these right here. That way that we can take that arm completely out. Alright, and now we can take out this other magnet. So there's a screw here and a screw here we need to get out. And those magnets are really strong, if you can't tell here. Alright, now that we have those out, we can take this other magnet out. As you can see, these things are mad strong, which is so much fun to play with. So another cool thing about these is you can take this board off on the back here, and these little pins right here are gold plated. They're not fully gold, but they are gold plated, and so I do keep those. I actually extract the pins out of it, so I will desolder this connector here off of the board. However, you don't need to desolder it. I just desolder it because I like to keep things as clean as possible. You can just rip that off. It's there's just a bunch of pins and stuff on there. You don't have to worry about it if you're scrapping these. You can just rip it off. However, that's not the way that I enjoy doing it. So again, that just pops off the back there once you unscrew it, and that's just a normal Phillips. It's a small Phillips. There's a little piece of plastic under here. You just throw that away. And right here you can see like a jumbled amount of ribbons, etc. And what those are is they are also gold plated, and I'll show you where those are at. Now I don't keep these for scrapping purposes, like selling, you know, the gold or anything, because it's really not that valuable. However, it is pretty cool to have it, so I have like a jar full of these and these ribbons as well. Those ribbons will be right here. So you can see here these little pads that are on there, right there. Those have gold plating on them as well. There might be some along inside of this ribbon too, but I'm not sure. But I just take the whole thing off. And so you could just scrape it off. And depending if you want to keep that intact or not, you know, you'd be more careful when you take it off. But you just get something to scrape underneath there, and you can just lift it up. And pull it out, and there you go. So there is like little solder connections inside of there, but most of the time you can just break them off. However, you know, that's how I scrap these. So yeah, I think on these smaller hard drives there's something like $6 worth of gold if you were to like melt it all down and combine it or something like that. However, I'm not 100% sure if that's true. I think on like the larger ones and older ones, you can get like $12 for it. And then you can also sell the neodymium magnets as well, because they're really strong magnets and they're sought after. I have a bunch of them in here too. These are ones that I actually picked up my screwdriver. These are ones that I actually took the metal off of them. And you gotta be really careful when you do that, because they do break. So some of these are like broken in half and stuff, but you know, these are really, really strong. All right, cool. Thanks for checking this out. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. All right, take care.